Hi, this is just a short introduction because I met someone, well, not someone to go out with. See, I like the new cake. Um, yeah, the girl I'm gonna show you is she was actually she might be my soul sister or something because usually I have lots of problems and I'm always messed up and something's playing in my mind. The actual people were actually think this is really weird, but it is possible, I think, and I don't think it's mental illness at all. But when people give you something or when they touch something, some people, maybe all, maybe everybody, they actually put their energy and become that object. Their spirit or the object will represent them when you're meditating on who's present. Or so because I have a war of objects in front of me. There's this thing, the circle. This is a charger for the iPhone, but this was evil. It was bringing me to the ashtray and to white powder. So whatever, and then when I'd find them, he'd bump me to the coat on the hanger. That's the wolf pack. That's the 187 or the Gagnsters of the wolf pack. They came to visit me or send people or something. When they sat on the chairs where I grant my where I get my clients to sit, while those chairs had been possessed. Whoever would sit on the chair would become whatever demon was or person. They would behave like that person. So they would always look like they were playing it with my mind, although they were not. Good clients would stay good, but they would mess me up without noticing. There'd be or some people's always want to smoke and get high and stuff like that. Her, nothing, and she'd even distract me when I myself decide to have a drag. She wouldn't give me any envies whatsoever. I didn't feel like smoking. I didn't feel like getting high, and she would actually react at the moment I'd get one of those annoying voices that tells me to invent something about the situation to get me mad and screaming at the voices. They get you to invent something that pisses you off hearing, and then you kind of start fighting with the voice. Mine is what she got is a devil like that whispering to her ear, and she was the Christ. We were kind of sharing Christ. Whenever I'd smoke, she'd become it or her chair. And I touched her pipe. The only thing is she's extremely good and she's well behaved. She has good reflexes, although she's kind of possessed by evil. But she had these rappers inside her when she got here, and she's a crack addict. Well, she's been falling back into crack. She got this guy that had her smoking an ounce of cocaine every day for about 9 months. That's what they do. They adopt you, they fuck you, they suck your dick, whatever, and then manage to get you high on something that hooks, and they do it with you, and you share. And then when you're in a couple, well, you're getting each other influence. Whenever you see your wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend, well, they remind you of getting high because that's the last euphoria you got together. It wasn't even having sex. Getting high was better. So that Jesus, all Jesuses are addicts. Whoever becomes number one is an addict. Because whenever they'd see someone like that, they would surround them, put the camp going, do camp serve. In French, cancer is camp serves, or the serve sire is also deer, or something with woods. So the camp deer kind of thing. So yeah, she was actually keeping it silent, keeping the door closed. I get people that are the reflexes are timed for them to hear whatever you're thinking all the time. So you never have any secrets with those people, those rats. But the first time I saw her, she has this leopard on her defense arm. And what hippies and marginals have is that leopard. So she had it on her left arm, and she has a crane skull on her left hand. Hands help. So the hands, you shouldn't be scared of hands like you're supposed to be scared of knees. Well, you have to deal with knees. You have to kiss them and not fuck too much because you get bad habits. And then they command you to do stuff that helps them stay your boss and all that. But yeah, on her hand, well, hands are dead. People that help are dead. That's what they do. They affect people that help or that give water, that cleans, that purifies. So her left hand is dead. So she has this gunman on her forearm. Forearm is attack, is avant-garde. So the forearm, well, she has this gangster gunman. And she had been tattooed by these gangsters of Demaniac tattoos. Demaniac means some maniacs. And they're all gangsters. I worked for them for a while. They just wanted to kiss me. They got rid of me. This other liar spoke bad about me and they let me go. Then I was working at the corner. When your house is haunted, all the corners in the town and in your apartment are evil and are keeping you in consumption mode and kill mode and killing yourself mode, auto-destruction. So I'll show you what she looks like and her tattoo. She probably hears voices a lot. She's getting a guy whispering in her ear, the devil. So yeah, us Christs, we hear what people program for us in our head. She was getting me messed up. I was learning or evolving some sort of way. I don't know if it was good or bad. And her name is Ocean. Ocean is ocean and from the ocean. But Anne is a bad omen. Anne is Andy Warhol. Anne is the D. It's a system D and it's a Warhol. She's death. Anarchists, arc, Anne. They throw arrows at Anne, arc, en français, arc, bow. Anarchists. Or the arch of Anne. The anarchists become a house for all the animals. So they're some sort of arch of Noah also. So I don't know if it's Gagnsters because she listens to rap. She's been extremely good. But since she's some sort of Christ, maybe they were trying to get Christ to be a crackhead to influence everybody else down below. And maybe she was being nice on purpose, not to get kissed by the music and me. And she was trying to run away with the Christ or something. So Jesus Christ is not me right now. So I think she may have left with him. So, but I still maintain my position, I guess, above all because of my morality and my principles. So if I print on the pad, well, you get all these words printed into your mind. So, or when I write or something. So I still get that, but I'm probably number 2. Yeah, I'm 2 now. 2. Yeah, I'm 2. So she's Christ. I got ripped off. So I'll have to. She's married to me, I guess, because we probably. Her friend was getting me the really horny stuff, trying to get me horny. She's a little fat because probably all soulmates for Jesus Christ are all fat and screwed up because they try to kill us as soon as they detect Christ in one of us. They all surround us, get us addicted, and try to gangsterize us. She has been gangsterized. She listened to rap, but she's actually a really good soul. Some people trust her with a kid. She had, like me, her kid taken away from her. So they would take Christ's kids away and raise them on the right blue capitalist in Beauport, where I come from. In Quebec, there's nice porks, beautiful porks, beautiful port. But port and pork sounds the same in French. So I call them nice porks because they're porks. They're pigs. And the capitalist creeps, greedy capitalist pigs. So I'm gonna. She managed to not have money for her tattoo, and now I got stuck to lend $170 to a crackhead. Isn't that marvelous? Yesterday she gave me $80 deposit, and she had cash, and I thought she had cash, so I might have got swindled. She kind of was laughing a bit, or maybe it's the guy behind her, inside her, that was kind of making her look. Because what they're trying to do is getting us mad at each other and getting us to separate. My other friend Marlon is on some sort of brigandine, some sort of Christ. Whenever the tape flows into his mouth, he's untwisting it and putting it all nice and straight whenever he loses the map. So I got 3 Christs up on the first row. But one of them might be evil, and she's Christ. No, oh, I guess I'm Christ. No. So we share Christ. Sometimes it's her, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Marlon. Well, I decided to put Marlon because he's a Rasta man. He got addicted on junk. He got lots of problems. He's lonely also, and but he has more friends than I do. And she has friends too, and then people taking care of her. It's only me that's really alone and with this narcissistic pervert as a roommate. So I'll show you. I'll show you her video, and she doesn't. I should have got her to speak, but she doesn't speak English. She's only French, so you'll get to see her. We should get married, but she doesn't attract me at all. I hope that my soulmate can fall into somebody more attractive, or to fall on Claire or something, that she's really clear, clean and precise. Claire in French is clair, is clear. So, or some sort of Frank girl or John girl kind of thing. Marie Madeleine was a whore. No wonder she was a whore. Everybody that was beautiful, that liked Christ, were haunted by the Christian demons, and that's no wonder he was being encouraged to see whores like me. I ran after whores to get coke when I was younger, and I got their service once or twice for a blowjob. I didn't really like that. I was there for the drugs. So I in crack houses and places where people shoot up, and the whole block is parasites and crackheads. Well, they're not parasites when they're addicted that much. Some of them do become evil and they take advantage of people, but most of them are actually really good people. But me, they didn't like. They'd always exclude and never really share, and just manage to get me high or something. So here it goes. I'll show you what Marie Madeleine looks like, or what maybe it's Mary would be my mother, I guess, and she is a virgin. The devil never touched her. She doesn't know what the devil is. She doesn't know evil. She doesn't understand a word I'm saying. She thinks I'm crazy, and she listens. She never adds anything. Changes the subject and pulls something out about me, so I tell her more about myself all the time. I can't have discussions with her, or my sister, or my brother, or my father. Well, my father opened up lately. He actually tried chatting a bit. He's not really fond of texting, but he would just try not to speak to me as much as possible, because our opinions are, he's right-wing, ex-military that worked on recycling plants and stuff like that, and then became a trucker. So truckers, they're working class too much, and loggers are working class too much. Like trucker is like a logger. They hate long hairs and beards and marginals, because they interfere with their work. So yeah, here it goes. There'll be a cut in the video. I'll show you a sequence with her, and then I'll come back. See ya. Bonjour, bonjour. Là, j'ai trouvé quelqu'un aujourd'hui, je vous en parlerai. Là, on va pas très bien. Essaie de tourner un peu. C'est un démon, c'est le diable qui parle dans l'oreille, qui chuchote. C'est un diable. Là, à cause de la vaseline, on va pas très bien. En tout cas, c'est ça. Puis c'est juste ça que je voulais vous montrer. Je vais continuer plus tard. Yeah. Well, so that was it. It's been a while since I recorded the first part, so I'm not sure what I was talking about, except that that might be my sort of soul sister. I was really, she was all timed with me. The reflexes were whenever I get an annoying voice. So I had this thing making me comment what just happened in an annoying way to myself. So I invent something and then tell myself that, making it be pretend that it's another voice, and then I almost get pissed off at the voice that came from me. Some of those voices come from an order you get telling you to tell yourself something that's annoying. And then some other voices that are kind of hidden by the blinders. I'm trying to unlock the communication on the left side. It was redirected to the right all the time. Whenever I mention something in the black space where people can hear, where telepathic links exist, it'd be redirected to the right wing all the time. And whenever I try to think of an image, you can visualize images and see pictures in the black. Well, something's keeping me from sending it to the left. There's this blockage somewhere around here. So, I kind of made the tunnel up to the image center. But you guys, I don't want to take you people up there, but it's like this sort of tunnel that crawls in your mind with the dough stuff, the energy. It's like dough or caramel that you stretch. It's 420, by the way. So yeah, and those kind of folded cloths that end up turning one end around, those become tunnels for the little crotte de nez, for little crumbs of horniness. Those, when you squeeze those, you get really horny. Or it's like if you're having some sort of orgasm when you squeeze the little crumbs that are in the tunnels. That's what happens in my body, anyways. I think everybody's living in here, so. Because you adopt rats. That's why punks would squat. It's because they were imitating their enemies that actually squat inside of our mind and inside of our body. And medias, and I'm trying to kick the medias out of the cellar for a while, but they're still linked up there, the media. Well, they should be able to print down on information on people, but they have to do that with the real information, not what the bosses decide to tell them what to say in order to keep order and people buying. That it's polluted enough. We don't have to buy that much. So you're gonna have to have something that changes. So yeah, we were perfectly synchronized, me and that girl. But it's like if you're some sort of Christ, or I'm not saying I'm the only Christ or whatever. He probably travels a lot. She was Christ for a while when she wasn't puffing her cracks shit. She was here for a tattoo, but she's a crackhead. I can't believe she actually asked me that. I think she might have been on a mission too, because she listens to rap, knew the people, the Demaniac, other tattoo artists. Whoever talked to them are kind of geared to destroy me. So I don't know if she was being terribly honest and good and didn't do or try anything bad on me in order to steal the first position and leave with it, kind of thing. Because you can kind of leave with it, keep people from getting their order in the social hierarchy or whatever. That common mind space I'm trying to teach people about. And she would react whenever I was going to give myself an annoying voice. That would mute it. So we were symbiotically linked, and we were compensating by moving when it was each other's time to hear stuff that we didn't feel like hearing. And another thing is we were kind of geared to let each other, or to know, we'd have a reflex letting us know where that the person that the other had her mind last time she put her mind somewhere. Something kind of just would flash us, so that's where she went. So we kind of keep track of each other, knowing what each other was minding at that time, without and by reacting, by keeping things silent inside. And she was getting a demon whispering in her ear. So they call that schizophrenia, but no, those are narcissists that occupy, that squat like punks your home. That's why they started squatting, and the reason why they dumpster dive and live off garbage cans. It's another way to imitate their enemies, because their enemies hang down here in the garbage where the bad emotions are. Well, mine is probably the cleanest they found, because I rarely have real negative emotions that come from myself. I experiment anger, but you're allowed to be angry. It's an emotion you have to exteriorize, you know. All emotions shouldn't be kept. Most of them become cigarette butts, especially love. Those are all emotions you avoided feeling, and they programmed you to react that way when you felt that type of emotion, or that type of emotion is what keeps you hooked. That emotion is what convinces you all the time, because it's linked to this, to something you like down in your pants. So most envies that are overwhelming come from somebody else's presence that's more dependent. With her, I never felt like smoking. Every time I lit a smoke, it was my I was off leash and deciding myself. But it's as if something would bring you there, and then when you decide to take it, she wouldn't be with you, and it wouldn't be her fault. But they never really get me craving as much as other people, at least. And maybe it's because she was high, I don't know. But the whole way, she brought some sort of alcohol, vodka thing. I tried to get her interested to juice. I took juice when I saw that appear, a flash of juice. Try to change in a good way her habits. But I still don't know if she was, because stuff stayed inside me after I met her. I'm attracted to Rice Krispies on the table that look like crack, you know. I love those, and I'm attracted to them. So, and I noticed them first amongst everything else. So I got some of her bad habits, and whatever she thinks about it. So I don't know if because she did spend time with this guy that paid her an ounce of cocaine, every day for 9 months. So if she knew somebody like that, well, probably because she's a sort of Jesus, they were taking advantage of her. But when you're a girl, they transform you into something that'll be useful, or either by working against good, or working for evil, or whatever, or casting something on you that you can't notice happening, that changes your general basic behavior, your unconscious movements, and the moments and the words that start this or that reflex, because those reflexes can stop your breath if you do it properly. I never played with people's breath. I never fucked around with people and tried to manipulate. I'm new at that game of being screwing people around. I don't really do it anyways. I never try to screw people around. I just fuck them out of my head. It's the only thing I'm guilty is fucking people out of my head. And then sometimes they mess me up, and I start working for them for a half hour on doing all the good I did for evil or something. But you don't notice when you don't hear them, they take control, and then your unconscious follows evil instead of good. And then you notice you're not following love anymore. You're following this passageway that's not related to love. So you're off track. This is off track. This would be the way. The way is the breath, way is your way. It's the breath up here. It's the Holy Grail, the way. And I got to be careful of that way. I think the universe has a permanent way. Energy is all over the universe. It's all around you. you shouldn't wait for a way to be how do you say thanked or rewarded with a way. It's some sort of meaning, some sort of way by letting, like the Chinese woman at the corner store. She blocks your breath until you look at the smokes, and then she lets them go, giving you your way back while you're looking at the smokes. So your brain records that that thing just gave you away. So they're interesting you in different things with the way. I think the way is a trap because it's his story and everything is light. You degrade an atom or whatever molecule, it becomes atoms. That be some electrons, neutrons, protons, and then you break those apart in an accelerator, and they give out light. So it's a story of light that materialized in our mind, that creates this cage and this maintains this order and this dynamic of fear and fascist narcissism taking control because they develop powers that common people don't have, and they block all those zones in your minds with movies and programs and narcissistic occupation, and because they occupy people, they create mental illness. They can create viruses. They can provoke illness. It's in French. It's maladie. Maladie is an illness. It's a sickness. But it also says in bird language, le mal a dit, in 3 words, which is the evil that said, or the evil said, which is said. So if you speak evil, evil will happen to you. If your mantras are evil, they will have a negative effect. And if you unconsciously set them to yourself, well, you're invoking some sort of illness and welcome them and telling yourself to fall in love with that. So you will attract that thing you just said if it was said a certain way. So that's how occultists and supernatural kind of energy people think. It's an alchemic people think it's that evil said an evil thing, or it's an evil spirit occupying and attracting evil and illness inside of you, but it's all light. So mind does have power over illness and viruses and AIDS. There is a way to heal AIDS. We're gonna find a way to heal AIDS. We're gonna learn how he did it. He's gonna be telling people. We're gonna be looking in his brain, that guy that invented AIDS, like they did to mine. I had a system that would get me to tell them everything that would go through my mind. They would hear that, and it would redirect to the right side. I couldn't tell it. Every time I think I'd giving clues and useful tips to the left side, and it would always bump into the enemy side. I'm not saying all right is my enemy, but most right were geared to abolish and annihilate whatever was good. So most of all right, all that were against me, because I was probably the only one left with the activists, I guess. And I don't know, they'd all become all right when I'd be in public. They'd get transformed and they'd be little soldiers right wing with an influence of the left if they were truly left. But it was they had to be outsmarted, not in order not to act a fascist way. There's a lot of little unconscious things provoke and maintain this kind of fear or control that people have, because we're all interrelated. I don't know, people always pretend they don't know what I'm talking about, or they don't understand, or treat me as like a fool, or ridiculize or laugh at, treat like a psychotic or a schizophrenic. But my psychiatrist acknowledges that magic exists, and she never said it was a problem when I talked to her about that. And then with what I lived at my birthday, if that wasn't magic, I really wonder what I saw and what I lived. And what made that pyramid flip upside down? Me. So then musicians and artists had the whole recipe ready, but there's lots to complete though. We have to work on how dynamics, who's linked to who. I saw older guys linked with young girls. That shouldn't be, but they end up getting interested. And fuck, that all these wrong links between people are made. And I don't know if that was a message for that Ocean, my soulmate that I was talking to you about that showed up. Is she on a mission like most people that I see coming in here? Is to kiss, or she never kissed me? I didn't get no kiss, or either it's a really subtle one that I didn't feel anything crawling up on me. My cage stayed down, nothing inhaled, everything went normal except that I kind of became her. Well, she kind of tried with this really horny stuff. When she was talking on the phone to her friend, she got the habit of sticking the horny shit on me. But that's the kissing shit. So, but I never stuck to it. I said, no, I checked if I was rising, and nothing was rising. I stayed away because I never trust a junkie or a crackhead. Eh? So they're really good at looking nice, and it's not dangerous or anything. Yeah, she even offered me some. I said no. I had too much trouble with that. It's the recipe that discouraged me, and I was getting these weird tensions that music created for me in order to get me off this shit. I used to smoke every day, at least $20 or $40. But I wonder if it wasn't a mission to hook me on that shit again, because I did kind of get interested with the yellow crumbs on my table when I was done eating. That would have made me want to have another Coke if I would have tried it. So, but not really, because I hate that stuff now. It's so awful. They changed the recipe. It's bullshit. It looks like flake, but it's not flake. Flake is probably a cursed word because it looks like fish flakes. That was the best one. But yeah, nice yellow rocks, like they sold in the street. Those spitballs, and thank you. The ones I got wired off after college every night. Oh my god, the difficult story. They did all their possible. They got me hooked on that so early in my life. I got out of it. They even got a needle in my arm. They have this whole secret system, and they start when they're kids. When they're babies, they start playing with their mind. And telepathic linking with their mom is already done, and they talk galore on that. And she even, when my daughter would spend time with me, my daughter would be linked to the mother, and there was this blockade keeping me from interacting with my daughter. So when I look right or attract her to a certain direction, she'd react a little bit too much too late. That meant that her mother would get the signal, realize that I was going right, then she'd get the reflex to turn also right, then the message would go back to the daughter, and then with the interference, she'd get a slight right direction movement with her head. So she'd always be late whenever I try to show her something. That's how I know that they're remote controlled if they want. They have this kind of Trojan horse system where the host is undetectable because of what's inside. Or some sort of, I don't know how they do that. They have these weird, intricate combinations of people and these Trojan horses that blow out into a whole bunch of allies. People, all the betas around you become your army, your soldiers, and they start acting and reacting when you want them to, or when your ideal world, like your ideal world would be and your mix would be. But we have to restructure all those links between people because they're linked to influence themselves into bad things in bad situations. Good people are linked and programmed to get each other mad or argue or not be on the same point of view, on the same step. Then they kind of get lost and don't share and forget about each other. And all the people that should be together, that's what's happening. They're getting linked to their worst dependents and enemies and dragged down into the bottom of the pit. That's why everybody started hanging out in the well, on the bench, and in the den where they sell the punished people because they noticed good people were getting punished and they're ending up there. So let's go occupy that place. So my good souls are occupying hell. They think they're in hell, all those satanists, but it's actually good people with good influence over them. So yeah, this is really weird stuff. I'm totally in another world, I guess, because people don't seem that now they go, yeah, oh yeah, as if they know what I'm talking about. They at least they don't change the subject or avoid everything that I say, even if it's hard to believe. I don't expect anybody to believe what I see, but it is my life, and I am the chosen one. So, or was, or at least risk my life to change it, to kickstart this new era of change right at the right moment where we can take ecology in front and change our ways of life and in a fun way and gradually. You guys are gonna love these changes that we did and get rid of all that smoke and pollution. So we gotta notice whoever is wearing black can see links and chains between things and people. See what things are flashing with vibrance. So when click, 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 clack, clack, tack, tack, when you hear clicks and clacks, there's something that flashes. That's it. You don't decide what it is. It appears on a click. You click, it's that chair right there in front of you. So it's not me right now. I don't know if it's because I'm or no, for me there's always an it, it's my worst enemy. But I'm almost the only one that has something I have to treat evil. We have to change it and wash it and recycle it. Try not to kill it and change it. They actually kill it. And for them, it is me. Or the most influential, or the one most likely to succeed. That's an SNFU album. The one most likely to succeed, or the natural leader, or the Christ, or the one that would take care. That person is it with fascists and narcissists, and they're using him, playing in his mind, and commanding him to act a certain way, so he becomes one of their puppets. Because the puppet system does exist. You'd be surprised what they puppet you to do. Most things you do is puppeted by some sort of voice or the way of God or whatever. Because a lot of people, you think they're aware of what's going on, but they don't hear it. They don't have a clue and they don't hear a thing. So, but they look like something's telling them to dress that way because they look like what's happening. Their colors they wear, the attitude, the expression on their face, the people they're with, their formations. I've been playing with formations not so long ago, and I saw new pictures on Pinterest of formations of sisters and like 5s and 4s and 7s and whatever, and how they interact and where they position on the floor, on the roof, whatever. Left wing, right wing, how many on each side, how many on the floor, blah blah, and the way they're all placed. So you can see that something's been taken, something changed, and they're trying to demonstrate something. Or if they're not trying, something's making them do that because I need feedback, and then something's making me fall on those pictures because they really look like reality of what I tried to change the day before usually. Or close, real damn close. So yeah, not everything, but a lot of pictures, or maybe it's just me that got an awakening after late on everybody that's living all this special stuff and wanting to share with you what's happening and how to change and revolutionize society, because we're in a revolution. The revolution never stops. You don't have to create mayhem and chaos with a revolution. Revolt, or revolt. Can you say that in English? The rebel, okay, Rebel is all right. Dissident is all right. But the revolt, the berserk kind of destructor, the provoker of chaos or something. What was I supposed to say? Yeah, the revolution. Anyways, it's a perpetual. You don't declare that. It's always running underground. That's what war is now. It's to infiltrate and transform and fuck to good. Fuck is actually a war technique, and it's used in war. They get you to fuck who they want you to fuck, and by fucking you mix and influence in the right way and provoke this type of dynamic system that sustains hierarchic alpha male dominance order on hierarchy. It's everywhere. Army, police, church. There's hierarchy and importance in grades. All when an anarchist society, those don't differentiate. It's your aura and who you are and your values that differentiate you from another person, not your grade. And people that don't deserve grades don't obtain grades anyways, or denominations like doctor or whatever, or lieutenant and sergeant. Sergeant in French is sergent. Sergent in bird language can be detached and mean sergent in two words. Jean means John, or the Apostle John. Jean, and it also means people. Jean with a J. Jean. And what was I forgot the word? Smile. I don't know. I'm so bad with memory. It must be the 420 getting up with me. Sergent, bon. Sergent, and ser is the verb to serve, but it's also an animal with woods, or a deer. It's a cerf, C-E-R-F, cerf, like cerfeuil, the spice, but it's cerf, cerf. So it's to serve, and it's a cerf. It's a animal with woods, and it's also John. So it could mean the John Deere, the sergent, the serf John, the serf Jean, the John Deere. So sergent would be John Deere, but they're not. They're fascists now in the army. They are maintaining fascist and New World Order still. We have to transform the army and military system and have them going the right way, and teaching them how to scuba dive and wash the sewers a bit, and you fuck the golf game, and we don't need golf anymore, and whatever's in the golf, and because it's polluting. So stop the golf game and get rid of those golf T-shirts, banish golf, and limit prizes at golf, and the gas price too. So yeah, sergeant is a John Deere, or it's somebody that serves people, serves Jean, sergent. So all that bird language is logical. You find logical definitions in most constructions of words that aren't really about etymology, but more of a esoteric alchemical language, which is bird language. Go see on Wikipedia. So I have trouble finding subjects for all of my videos, and I kind of just go with the flow and whatever crosses my mind, because I figure that's a logical way to figure stuff out, or to change habits, because it's this sort of logic or trail that you're used to taking inside of your head. So to improvise like that will get you to shift from place to place, and to naturally clean everything in order and affect whatever they have to be affected, and create space. So I've been creating this huge space talking right now. I've got this humongous dome. Oh, whoa! Like, let's stretch the. It's it in the center. Whoa. Okay. Uh, I'm a little of a flying saucer. In French, it says soucoupe volante. Soucoupe is what you put under a tea. Soucoupe. It says under cup. Soucoupe. Soucoupe is a saucer too. And we call it soucoupe de messe, mescaline, because they taught us mass with mescaline. La messe, the mass. Well, we had our type of mass. It was mess. It was mescaline, but it wasn't real peyote mescaline. Because when they started their revolution and continued the war, we had good black horse in front, but all the good soldiers in Canada were all dead in Normandy. And after that, all the widowed women would become hens that lay blue eggs. And the eggs that had hatched with the good soldier would get transformed into blue bums. And then they would love whoever would make money in order to make a better life for their kids. And who makes money? Well, the devil makes money. Eh? So they'd all become blue. So that was a technique, and all the good souls in North America died on the battlefield in First and Second World War. And the good green giant died on the battlefield. He died. That's where he died. He is back now. He had to fight the demon to get back and turn that pyramid down and start first again. It's a life-risking thing. That's maybe why music says I earned myself a reward, I guess, and I don't really care that much about titles. It's for sure I'd like to be appreciated, as people know who I am, and I think they understood that even if they kill me, I'll just transfer to this other Christ, and it won't change a thing. They'll have to find that Christ, but I dismantled the whole stooling system, and all the whole system that would make us inform them of our whereabouts is taken down, and the system telling us what's going through our mind is taken down, and whatever, and they're gonna stop learning everything we want and would want, and inventing stuff at our place, and the true inventors are gonna live off the things, the stuff. They're scanning our minds. They have these little cats and dogs and whatever, collecting information and directly in people's mind telepathically. The wish knows what I wished for. The next day they're selling whatever crossed my mind the day before. They're selling it the next day on Wish. The same type of pants or of whoever I had as a client or was involved with me that day. Well, we get that kind of stuff on sale on Wish. So they know. Some people can know what you wear and whatever, where you're at. They even ask you, you answer. You tell them. You just don't hear the question. But whatever you're answering, sometimes you don't even hear yourself answer. But you're actually just floating them of all the truth. Those are always evil narcissists, and it's not schizophrenia. It's true. This is true shit. You should listen to me. If they chose me, maybe it's because I had something to teach you. Something that spoke to me because I was it all the time. Well, this message made it through after a while. That's why I realized what was going on. A lot of people don't know the whole thing. I even got in touch with alchemia, old ancient alchemia and Kabbalistic art, which is all human made, all human spells, Kabbal, Gnosis, and all those Israel stars and triads and whatever, occultist, pyramidal, Egyptian magic with the emerald tablets, and alchemia and Kenya, the black stone, the black earth, Egypt, whatever. All that is things that they learn studying elements and reactions and operations, everything you can do to a substance or an element. Like cremation, evaporation, dissolution, melting. I didn't memorize because I don't have equipment for those. But you can actually test them with the energy in your head and do those operations. Like the mercury will melt your brain down and the energy down. It will cleans you up. So everything is by studying the elements. So if the elements were behaving that way, there must be some sort of magnetic law or equilibrium that's maintained within that chaos that represents space. And a spiral is some sort of chaos too, but it's a regular chaos that connects to itself at the end. So a spiral is, I think that's made more parabolic or something, but everything's made of a spiral. The galaxies, the flowers grow spiral way. The ovaries are spiral. You draw spirals everywhere when you're a kid. So there's those kind of chaotic, the stars are all over anyway, in no particular order or logic, so that has to be chaos, I figured. Chaos is not necessarily, it's at the basis of everything. Chaos actually holds all which is ordered or structured, float within chaos. Chaos is necessary, but chaos won't change. It might enter, but you put chaos, it's like everybody getting loose. It's chaos. Chaos never stays long because we end up needing love or meeting with love. Finders and seekers. The seekers will start hunting. The predators, the archons, the Romans, the descendants of the wolf female of Rome, Romus and Romulus, that would breastfeed off the wolf mother. Those people, the archons, the predators that became narcissists, and the narcissists most likely will become and support fascism and Nazism, and intimidation is at the basis, and manipulation is at the basis of their system, and the narcissists are the best manipulators that exist and manipulate since they're a kid, especially if it's René. René is rat, né, born rat. A born rat doesn't think and is ratish and just does it like this, evil to you. So I lost the logic in my thing. So you have to be aware of rats and what was I saying? Oh my god. Yeah, so anyways, there's this dynamic, and they program people to attract their worst influence that they could have, or something that would keep them from reaching paradise or whatever, some sort of happiness. They cut off happiness and traded that with activities that were linked to our happiness or love, like the iPad. People that are always in their iPad and phones, because when you press on it, there's this little orny, ticklish thing on your sexual sacra that's going, oh, you're nice, I love you, just a feint. People don't really notice that all the time. Me, it took me a while before I started feeling that sexual energy. But they call it. But I don't know, it's because I had hepatitis C for a while and they cut that off so I wouldn't get horny and fuck with nobody. I don't know. Or maybe it's because I was some sort of Christ, so they wanted to make sure I wouldn't get anybody horny, to make sure I'd stay alone. And I wouldn't be sexually attractive to women, which that their program worked, because I don't attract much women at all. They started looking at me now. They started noticing me since July, since my birthday, since things changed. So yeah, it's this big wiring underground that has to be rewired. And the black people, the black magicians, they can see, if they focus, they can see these connections between people and things. and you can see some sort of rays of transparency, thick transparency. Or like if you look through a glass that's a bit off focus, but you see this leading from there to there. So something brings your vision that way, and it's some sort of magical movement within the air that you can see. Well, that'll take your eye there. And there's lots of these little magical winds that grab your sight that you don't notice because you're always in beta mode. Beta is our normal way. They're always in alpha or theta. Alpha is alpha master. Is the where you manipulate needs and perception. The doors of perception. William Blake is probably about that. I think I'm going to read it soon. So they're in alpha state. Those are mind frequency, mind states. Go look on YouTube, mind states or cerebral mind states or something like that. And they'll talk to you. It's to get up here, here. You got to get up here, here. But there's this something in there that's tricky. There's a crumb rat. I gotta. Oh, the crumb rat. They're thick. They're really tiny and they're hard to squeeze because the tube grows, dilates, and the rat kind of floats in the middle. So you have to kind of pinch the tube exactly on the crumb to get rid of it. It's really difficult. You need a violin or accordion to pitch that, and then it becomes this wider love kind of energy thing and it dissipates itself, but it goes like 100 times bigger than it was as a crumb. And it's kind of horny. It feels good to play with those. When you're feeling the horny stuff, somebody's that's would be evil is dying. When you feel that horny sensation, I probably look really weird right now, but it feels so good. It's going down, down, down. It was actually way down there when I started playing with it, but it's squeaky. I got to say, this is it. It. C'est ça. I can't catch it. It's it. If you don't think it's it, it's going to be it when you don't think about it. You say, this is it. That's it. When you're not thinking. Fascists would decide what it is, pretending they have all the information, manipulating you, or forcing you to act a certain way, or manipulating you. I don't know. Talking in your mind. I don't know. I don't know if that actually works for others, but they can. I give tricks. So it's been roughly an hour. I didn't want her to know that she was for this kind of thing because I kind of fear people would make fun of me or that I'm living something quite normal and that I'm just going off about it and making. But I know what I noticed those changes I do. I don't think this is a fiction. I think it's true and tickling me its way up into the cellar. That rat thing that was connected to the. C'est ça. No? Okay, so enough silly stuff. So take care. Bless you. Not blessé in French. Blessé is to hurt. Hurt, and when it hurts, it always hurts. They pretend it hurts, but it's actually getting them horny and killing you when they're in control. So you may as well get good on top. There's something down there at the bottom, way at the bottom. There's a reserve of rats. There's a door, something letting rats up that we still have to take care of. It's way down inside. That's it. Yeah. I don't know what. It's the phone. The phone's at the source, and the phone was evil. The phone is liberating all these rats coming out of the phone. They must be linked to hell or something. I don't know. Something's getting evil coming out of the phone and getting us to want to smoke or whatever. I gotta put a nail on this to put an envy and a lack of something so to get people to smoke, to get the truth when they're evil. So bye-bye, and stay true. That's it. Work hard. Be happy. Don't worry. Let love rule. and stay immune to rats and kill your traitors. And the ones that want to kill you, don't be shy, you're allowed. But kill them like a good friend would, without actually doing it, just provoking it. That's what they're doing to me and all the good people, offering you smokes and energy drinks, and forgetting the cans at your face, and breaking your gifts that your good friends give you, losing them, separating good people from you, separating good couples, destabilizing society. So beware of infiltrated fascists, but their game is changing. There's less and less fascists every day. So don't think we're gonna abandon you or anything. There's lots of people working on the cause, and start listening to good music and be careful to what you listen at on TV. Those are programs. They're programming you. That's it. TV is it. TV. You have to go no TV. Bye. Oops.